Hey lovelies, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well and keeping safe throughout this pandemic. In London, things are starting to ease up. As of next week, some bars are opening up and restaurants are opening up, and I am so happy because a girl has to get out of this house, because this whole lockdown has completely just killed my whole entire life. I feel like a whole year and a half of my life, or 2 years, has just been cruising by. Like, I haven't been able to do anything. Let me know in the comment section if you feel the same way, because I'm just over it. Like, I'm honestly super over it. So today's video, I wanted to talk about emotional control because I had a girl message me on Facebook. I'm a part of a few groups on Facebook, and there was a topic talking about emotional control basically, and I had commented on the post, and a young lady had messaged me privately and asked me, you know, how can she have better emotional control, because she's very emotional. She cries a lot. Anytime she gets in an argument with her boyfriend, she just breaks down in tears, and she just doesn't know how to control her emotions. And trust me, I understand. I am a Cancer and I am so emotional. I am a real Cancer, for real.
Why did he comment on her picture? Do everything for him.
How am I too clingy? I want to make love.
Just want him to love me.
So when she asked me this, it was really interesting, because even though I'm a very emotional person, I have learned to control my emotions, and I have learned ways of just being a more balanced person and learning to just balance logic with emotions. Because I think before I was definitely a lot more emotive. I just operated from a place of emotions. I didn't really think before I did things. I'll just kind of act and then think about it later, probably once I've calmed down and I thought, that probably wasn't the best way to handle that situation. Or sometimes you just feel really silly because something has happened and you just think, you know what, I wish I had just waited and I didn't operate from a place of emotion or anger or sadness or sensitivity or anything. So when she messaged me this, I thought I'd do a video about it because she really wanted to go in depth about it, and I did tell her I was going to do a video. So this video is for you, babe. This video is actually for you. Alright, emotional control. I'm going to just go from my own experience of how I learned to control my emotions, because like I said, I was super emotional, super sensitive. Anything anyone said to me, I would get combative, I would get defensive, I would take it really personally, and I had to just completely learn to change the way I thought and the way I look at things. So one of the first things that I did was I kind of just learned to understand myself, to understand what makes me emotional. Why do I feel emotional? Why does this situation or what someone said makes me feel this way? Like, why am I feeling like this? Is it pride? Is it sadness? Is it my ego? Like, what is going on? Is it bringing up something from my childhood? And once I really started to understand like my triggers, or started to understand the way my mind worked, I was able to then implement ways of learning how to handle those situations, if that makes sense. So for instance, like I said, the first thing that I did was just to understand myself, understand what was making me emotional, what was making me sensitive. Actually no, the first step was everyone around me telling me I'm super emotional and sensitive. I mean, once everyone's saying the same thing, it kind of makes you think like, there's something about me that I need to change. And that was kind of the first thing. Like, once you hear people saying the same thing to you over and over again, you then realize that you do need to change something about your character. And the next step was for me to understand myself and understand my emotions. Once I understood myself and my emotions, what I did was I first decided that anything that happens, I wasn't gonna react straight away. So for instance, if someone sent me a message that I didn't like, or a message that offended me or made me feel a certain type of way, I wouldn't respond straight away. I would literally look at the message, I'll put it to one side, and I will deal with it the next day.
Next day, the next day, the next day.
Or say if I got that message in the morning, I would leave it and go throughout my whole day, and then maybe at the end of my day I'll go and reread that message. But normally I would like to give about 24 hours just for that to marinate, and just for my emotions to kind of settle down, and maybe for me to think about it from all different angles before responding. And then once I started doing that, I learned to change that from 24 hours to almost immediately. So now when people do things or say things, I can almost immediately go over all these scenarios or ways of handling things and just handle things differently. Another thing that I did was, whatever I would normally do, I did the opposite. So this happened to me very recently, where someone did something to me and I really wanted to get combative. I really wanted to be like, whoa, hold up. And I had to just, in that moment, realize that that's what I wanted to do, and then I did the complete opposite of it. So instead of me maybe popping off or getting upset or angry, I did the complete opposite. So I was calm, I just kind of responded and said, you know what, thank you. Instead of me saying what's going on or getting angry, I just said thank you and I kept it moving. And I felt a lot better when I did handle it that way, and I was able to even look back at the way I handled that situation and understand that, wow, like I've really grown. Another thing that I did was for me to talk to one of my best friends. And honestly, I would say just do this in the beginning stages of when you're trying to get your balance between logic and emotions, is to get the opinion of someone you really trust. So I have 2 best friends in this whole wide world, and I can tell them anything, and I will tend to go to them whenever I need help. If I feel as though I don't know how to handle something, or if I don't know if I'm going to be too emotional and I just need that other person's perspective, I will talk to them. I'd message them, or I ring them, or send them a voice note and say, this is the situation, what do you think? And normally they'll give me a very fair, unbiased opinion. And once they tell me their point of view or their perspective, I'm able to look at it from a different point of view, and then obviously like deal with the situation accordingly. Don't become too reliant on that, because I don't necessarily have to do that anymore. But if you're in the beginning stage of learning how to control your emotions, definitely talking to someone else. But then you don't want to fall into the habit of becoming too dependent on other people to kind of pull you out of situations, or getting other people's opinions to validate yours or to contradict yours. You just kind of want to come to that understanding by yourself. What else did I do? Another way that I learned to have emotional control was just to meditate. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, just meditating every single day and just being still and on listening to the world around me, listening to my body, how I feel, the thoughts that's going on in my mind, and understanding my wants and my needs, and just becoming at one with myself. I was able to kind of calm myself and align myself so that whenever someone would come at me sideways, or a situation would happen, or I get in any type of any kind of conflict with someone, I'm able to kind of align myself straight away, because I do meditate and I do try to understand how I feel and my emotions. Another thing is, linking to what I just said, is understanding your feelings and emotions. So asking yourself, you know, how does this make me feel? Does this make me feel uncomfortable? Is this, you know, overstepping a boundary of mine? Like, how is this situation right now making me feel? And also being true to your emotions. If something is making you feel uncomfortable, you don't like something, you don't need to attack. There is a way of saying things, and it's all about your delivery and your approach. So if something makes you feel uncomfortable, you feel as though something has overstepped a boundary of yours, like I said, take that time to kind of get everything in check, your emotions in check, and then go on and tell that person or address the situation accordingly. Yeah, because you don't want to kind of just sweep things under the rug, or you don't want to kind of just glaze over things because you don't want to get in conflict, because then you're still going to feel how you're feeling, and you definitely need to express yourself, but just express yourself in a more calm way, in a more rational way, than operating from that place of emotions and being so emotive in your delivery. Reading books as well, I'm not gonna lie to you, like reading loads of books helps me to kind of understand myself, understand how other people think, understand the world around me, and it was just I was able to calm myself and align myself. Like I said, like this whole self-development journey, this leveling up journey, it's a process. And that's another thing as well, like understand that it's a journey. You're not gonna change overnight, you're not gonna become less emotional overnight. It is a process and it is a journey that you need to embark on, and it will take time. Like I've been doing this for the last 5 years. I was never this person before. Another thing as well, I think that really helped me and my emotions was just kind of not caring, if that makes sense. I know it sounds really harsh and horrible, but just in the sense that don't take everything so personally. Like just go with the flow, do what makes you happy. Like I said, always be true to your feelings and your emotions, and don't overthink things. A lot of the times when you're operating from an emotive place is because you overthink things. So for instance, I might get snappy at someone or emotional at someone if I know that that person has a certain character. I don't know if I'm making sense, but say for instance, you know that that friend of yours is a very bitchy friend, and if you tell them something, they're going to be very bitchy. Or for example, that person is a very negative person, and as soon as you say something, you know they're going to come back to you with something negative. So you already in your mind have a comeback for their comeback, because you already know that they're going to be negative. So you know how they're going to be, so you're already on the defense, ready for them to be negative. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, I think just dropping that, like don't care, like don't use people will surprise you. Yeah, that person might be negative, and if they are, so be it. And maybe they might not be in that situation, but kind of not having any preconceived ideas about people helps you to kind of just calm yourself. I know that I used to always put these labels or put people in boxes of how they were, and the thing is, there is no box. We shouldn't box people into certain ways, because that person might have just changed overnight, and being a completely different person. And also, don't get annoyed by what that person says. If someone else's opinion shouldn't get you upset, it shouldn't draw you out, it shouldn't take you out of your character. You know, I've been there before when I've been that angry black woman or that angry woman who has been drawn out of character because of I allowed someone to affect me, or I feel like they weren't understanding, and you're just trying to really make that person understand. Like no, like if they don't understand, they don't understand. Who cares? Like just keep it moving, stay true to how you feel. Don't try to please other people or let other people understand where you're coming from. If they don't understand, like I said, they don't understand. Like why are you trying to make that person understand? Why are you going to get so emotional about how someone says, if someone says they don't like you, you're now going to put that pressure on yourself, like oh my gosh, this person doesn't like me, I must be a bad person. No, that person doesn't like me. Okay, you don't like me, that's fine. There's billions of other people on this world. You don't like me, we don't get along, so be it. Okay, cool, what's the solution? You stay over there, I'll stay over here, and let's keep it pushing. I think when you look at situations more as like problem and solution instead of like problem and me, then you just won't be as emotional anymore, and you honestly won't care. And when you kind of get to that place of not caring and just, you know, really understanding your emotions and not willy-nilly giving out your emotions to everyone, you just become so much calmer, and it will also affect your other life. For instance, I know when I became a lot more calmer and less emotional, I wasn't as clingy onto people, because I didn't need to depend on no one to, you know, reassure me or to, what's the word, like make me feel good. I just stopped caring. Like I don't know how to explain. You just have to just become at one with yourself and just not care. I know it sounds really harsh, but that's the truth of it. And once you just really understand yourself, understand your emotions, then you're able to just move on. Another thing as well quickly I want to say before I go is understanding past trauma. I always say that it's so important to heal the little girl inside of you or the little boy inside of you. You need to heal that part of you that is broken, that trauma that's within you, because you might be operating from a place of trauma. Maybe, you know, in your childhood something always happened to you and you reacted a certain way, so that's all you know. So now in your adult life, you're gonna keep doing those same behaviors, and those same patterns will start emerging in your life because you haven't dealt with that pain or that hurt. And I think it's just really important to heal that little child within you, so that you don't start acting in certain ways that you would if you was a child, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope you find this video useful. I hope I've given you some really useful tips. Let me know in the comment section down below, again, any other videos that you guys want to see on this level up journey. If you don't know, I'm gonna tell you now, but your girl's got a podcast. I do. So make sure you check out my podcast. I do have my business, which is Tenacious Goddess. I launched my business at the start of this year. It's all about femininity and leveling up and becoming your best self. You know, I'm a woman's life coach. I study social studies. I'm doing a mental health awareness course right now as well, and I have quite a few clients right now, which I'm really happy about. So make sure you listen to my podcast and make sure you stay tuned for all my classes that I have coming up. I am going to have some master classes, so if you are on this leveling up journey and you need a woman's life coach, then voila, your girl is over here. So yeah, I'm going to leave everything linked in the comments, in the description box down below, so make sure you just check out all of my content and stuff. So yes, until my next video, I will see you guys, my dolls. I will see you then.